Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with my first Mondo action figure, and it is the 1/6 scale, which I don't normally collect 1/6 scale, but this new Mondo line that they have started with that more classic looking He-Man. I also ordered that deluxe one that comes with the Thunder Punch, Battle Armor, and regular classic He-Man. So that one comes out, I think, February of next year. But we already have She-Ra. And they also pre-ordered that Battle Cat as well. That is the 1/6 scale, because how can you not have these core characters that look as good as this? I mean, I didn't like the first He-Man they came out with, so I had a hard pass on that one. And even the other ones, I do kind of wish I'd gotten Man-at-Arms now that I'm getting into it. But I was going to pass on these. I am a faithful 1/12 scale, 6-inch to 7-inch collector. But these are too awesome to pass up. So I wanted to go ahead and review this She-Ra. And here is the package. Wow. Look at that. It's a big box. You can see on the side here it says 1/6 scale collectible figure. This was a timed limited edition She-Ra. Masters of the Universe there. She-Ra, Princess of Power in pink with the Mondo original logo there is Mondo's logo. So then it has a flap that we're going to be able to open up here on the side. And the first thing that you're going to see is that awesome photo that this gentleman, there's his name there on the screen, has been taking of these Mondo action figures. And man, is that amazing. Definitely one of the most awesome She-Ras I've ever seen, especially in this scale or really any scale. Wow. Just wow. It says 1/6 scale there on this inside flap. Of course, it has their Masters of the Universe down there and all this pink outline. And there is our character inside. Our character is inside with all the accessories through the plastic window and then wrapped in all that plastic. So, yeah, we definitely need to break her open and check her out. And let's do that right now. All right, we have unpacked all of She-Ra's accessories. So let's first look at those accessories right now. Looking at her hands first, she first comes with a set of balled up fisted hands as well as some weapon holding hands. She also comes with open palm gesturing hands equipped as she comes out of the package. She comes with 3 crowns, and there's her portrait or face sculpt. You see that crown that she comes with. And then she also comes with this crown here, as well as kind of after the vintage type action figure, that crown, and comes with a little piece of hair that will be equipped to be able to make that crown work as well. There is her trusty shield in gold instead of gray with this incarnation. But she does come with the gray or silver power sword with the bluish turquoise gem, as well as a gold sword with a gem, as well as a gold sheath that goes along with this sword, which this is kind of Mondo's touch here. And you can see Swiftwind's little insignia or little cutout or molding there down at the bottom of the sheath. So that's really cool. And as you can tell, she comes with a nice cloth goods cape with that gold trim at the bottom, and it is wired, and we'll be equipping all of this stuff. She comes with another hair piece, full headdress there for her head. She also comes with her comb that is like a axe/comb that is patterned after, again, the classics 4 Horsemen incarnation of She-Ra. And then she also comes with this little sash that will go around her waist that can, you know, change her appearance. Another option there. last but not least, with Kowl. I've got him up here, and that is so cool. In scale with this She-Ra, and he is cool looking. Look at there. So we have Kowl, and that rounds out all of these accessories. She's packed to the gills with accessories. Now let's equip those accessories and take a closer look at our She-Ra. Alright, so one of the accessories that I did not mention is this stand. As you can see here, she comes with this nice stand, and I'm going to open that up so I don't try not to scratch. See, it will scratch your figure, but this stand will telescope out like so that you can put it around her waist. I just pinched it around her leg, and it's odd because it has the design on the bottom and then it's flat on the top, almost like they should have put that hole down here. That's pretty neat. Like, it'd been neat for her to stand on that, I guess. I'm not sure what else that could have been for, but yeah, she does come with a stand. All right, and again, that will go all the way up like so. All right, first taking a look at this portrait, this head sculpt. Has a very beautiful head sculpt. You see those piercing blue eyes, some dark eyeshadow with just a little bit of purple as well in the eyelid. Pretty eyebrows, rich, deep red lipstick, which almost looks like they come too much at a point at the top of the lips on mine, just a little bit. I don't know. They could have toned it down just a little bit for my taste. You see there's like a light color of blonde here, and then it gets darker as it goes up, so there is some shading in this hair, as you can tell. I've got pretty bright lights on here, but you can see the different colors in the hair there. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove this first crown. You can see that it's got two different tones of gold, like a darker tone here and a lighter tone on the inside, and then a red jewel, of course, in the top. But you can take that off, and unfortunately, here's where it gets ugly. You see it has these ugly gaps here on the side of her head, as well as this ugly peg gap here on the top of her forehead. I really wish they had not done that, because if they had not done that, we could use this little hair piece that she comes with, covered up that gap and had her without the crown. But see, you still have those breaks, those ugly gaps. But they could have easily fixed that, made it a little bit easier to have replaced that, or even have built in on that second hair piece the ability to cover that up. That would have been nice, but unfortunately that was not done. So that is one complaint that I will have. But let's go ahead and remove that for a moment and put on the other crown, which is more simple. It does not have the two-tone gold like this one did. This one has, you know, more detail, has the two colors of gold, whereas this one has just one color of gold. So this is a little bit more simplistic. I guess it'd be more like Filmation accurate here. And they both equip the same way with those notches on the sides of the head, which, you know, I believe they could have figured out a different way to have done that. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like equipped here. Let's peg those into the sides of her head. And there you go. There's the other crown. Not a big difference, just a little bit less detail, but still looks beautiful. Looks really good. Really good looking there. Awesome. All right, now let's go ahead to the vintage style crown. And that's where this piece really comes into play. You put this little piece of hair in that, you tab it into that little peg there. And then you are able to take your vintage style crown and peg it in here, and I'm going to do that. And there you have the vintage style crown on, and as you see, this hairpiece covers up that gap that's in her forehead, because if you don't, you would still see that even despite the little mask piece here. Now, a lot of people have wondered on this, and you see the hairpiece comes off very easily. It's kind of hard to get both of them on there, but you can technically put it upside down like that if you don't want that hair in her face. And then when you peg these in onto her head like so and rotate it upwards, you can get it to look like that as well. That's just another option. It looks like maybe the hair is just, you know, the bangs are just swept forward, but it still covers up that. But also, as I was saying, the mask idea, if you put it in like this, it does line up perfectly with her eyes if you wanted to turn it around. But this is going to be difficult unless you turn it upside down, and then it's just going to look funny because it's just kind of a straight line, there across here. Because if you try to do this in any other way, it just gets in the way of the crown somehow or another. I don't know. It's just hard to maneuver. You can make it happen like so. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead while we've got these off and show you how to take off this other hair piece. So you're just going to pop that off there, and you see you have this solid hair piece, and then you have another hair piece. So let's go ahead and take that hair piece and pop it on. And you might say, okay, why do you have another hair piece? And it will pop on pretty securely there. And then I'm going to put on the original, or the one that came on her in the package, the crown that was on her when we got her out of the package. And so now let me show you the difference. There is a big gap here for her to be able to have her sword and the sheath come through there. So let's go ahead and show you that. So you see the sheath here has two little pieces that are designed to kind of just snap or strap on to these leather, or actually it's kind of made to look leather, but it's plastic straps on her back that go around to the front, kind of her part of her outfit, and they will just snap on like so. And then let's go ahead and rotate her hair back around, and that sheath will go right through that hole of her hair. As you see, that sheath then goes right through that hair, and then you can equip the sword. It slides right in there and just pops into place. So that's really nice looking, as you can tell. And so now if we turn her around, she can have her sword and sheath equipped, and her hair not be an issue as far as it being able to pose her with that equipped like that. Not going to be able to move her head a whole lot. You'll be able to move it some, but you still have the sheath and sword equipped. So that is really cool. Awesome. So we've covered most all the head pieces now. So now let's look at some of her other accessories. Alright, so I've popped off the head, and as you can see, there is a really nice ball joint up underneath here, really high. But this cape has two little clasps, one on that side and one on that side. And you see this little area right here that is a part of her strap. And there's a little bit of a stick right here, or a little connection, I should say. And I believe that is where you're supposed to hook that. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, so once you get both of those little silver pieces clasped onto her straps there on the back, you can technically lift that cape and still put that sheath, because there's enough of an opening. Round wiring. This is all wiring all the way around the edge of this cape, so you could certainly get it out of the way. Now let's see if we can get the head back on and it work. Alright, so you see you can get the head and the crown back on with the cape and still have the sheath and sword equipped back there, so all of that works nicely. You can tell how that all puts together there, really cool, really nicely here. It is cumbersome to do. You'll be getting this head back on here, and then the sheath come off, or you'll be trying to get it on there and one of the little clasps will undo on the cape. So it is a process. Not gonna lie, it is a process to try to get that done. And two, this cape is extremely wide, so that's so you can do some whipping, you know, type poses, I'm sure. But what I've done is I've folded it in so that if it's in like a relaxed state, you can kind of see the figure without, you know, too much cape being flashed around or sprawled out onto either side. So you can see that. Alright, let's go ahead and equip some of her weapons now. Okay, so I have already equipped on her right hand her sword wielding, weapon holding hand here. So let me just show you very quickly here how you can just pop off that open palm hand and pop on this fist, this balled up tightly fisted hand here. They slide on very easily. And then our shield here has leather style looking straps that buckle around the back with that gold, see that, and the rivets around it, just really nice and detailed. So you can just slide that fist all the way through, and then voila, she has her shield equipped, and you'll be able to kind of pressure that onto that gauntlet so that it'll stay on there, and that looks nice. Check that out. And then let's go ahead and put this power sword on there first. Go ahead and pop that out of the sheath, and then these hands are fairly pliable. And one of the things I will tell you is I'm trying to set her back here so I can work on this hand, is those feet are not very tight, so it is hard. And we'll go ahead and break the news. It is hard to get her to stand on her own, and that is really, really unfortunate. But anyway, you can see that this hand is pliable. You can kind of bend it out, so you can bend it out and go ahead and pop this sword into that hand, and then kind of have to bend it back into place so it'll hold good. And now let's go ahead and take our She-Ra, pop that hand back into place, and there we have it. So let's see if we can prop her up and show a 360 view. And here is our She-Ra with all of her accessories in the gold featured anyway, with the exception of her, I guess, battle axe / comb device here, which is really shiny and neat looking. And I did not put the strap around her waist. That's just not for me, but it's got a little notch there. You can just put it around her waist and strap that on, have a different look for her. And you see I've got the cape kind of bunched up so that it looks like it's laying relaxed behind her, but with that wiring you're going to be able to whip that out. You see she has her sword and shield looking nice, got the original out of the box crown on her. That's the second hair piece that has the big hole gap in the side here, so that you can have the sheath and the cape and everything still equipped. As you can see, it's coming through there, but yet the hair is still laying nicely. So all of that's looking great. Unfortunately, her ankles are so weak on these feet that you're not going to get her to stand very easily, especially when you've got all this weight on her. So I am using that stand that came with her, and I've got it all the way up and around her waist this time instead of just strapping it around her legs, so you can see how that works. Takes some work to get this She-Ra to stand up, because unlike a He-Man with, you know, some broad thick boots and feet, you got some high heel type, you know, kind of, not really high heel, but just some heel on some more narrow feet and narrow legs. and then a top heaviness, and then by the time you put that heavy shield and sword and cape and everything, yeah, I'm glad they included the stand. But now let's take a look right quick at her equipped with the actual power sword that we're used to from the Filmation cartoon, She-Ra, Princess of Power, and this really awesome looking sword. I just love that. That is so nice. So we're going to take a look at her holding that now. Alright, so I actually was able to get her to stand without the stand here. I wouldn't dare be able to rotate it, but you can see the cape whipping out there. She's holding the more silver power sword. And so yes, she is looking amazing, and I'm sure you can work with her to get, you know, even better dynamic poses, but she is looking cool. She's ready. She's whipping around there, and she's ready. Looking awesome. Looking amazing. And there is our She-Ra, looking like she's walking forward there. Getting a little stride going on there. Looking nice. So you can definitely see that she can pose around. So speaking of that, now that we've seen her pretty much with all of her accessories, let's look at her articulation. Alright, bringing our She-Ra in a little closer, let's first look at the head articulation. She's going to be able to look up about that much, even with the hair back there, even with the hair going on. She's going to be able to look down a pretty good amount. Just that hair is going to weight it down a little bit, but you are going to be able to look down. Alright, she's going to get some good pivot, and of course look side to side, so you get a very good head motion all the way around there. So you definitely have some good head articulation. Now the arms, they're a little bit more disappointing. I mean, of course you can go 360, but there's no bicep swivel. I mean, I feel like they could have given her, they got a little bit of muscle tone definition with the shoulder and the tricep here, but I feel like they could have given her a little more and could have worked in that bicep swivel. But you do get an elbow swivel. It's a single jointed ball joint. This is very familiar to I don't know, some of your other action figures in the lines of maybe some of your Mafex, and even some of your SH Figure Arts in the women when they didn't get double jointed elbows, and even in your Marvel Legends, the women, before they started giving them double jointed elbows and bicep swivel. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like a little bit behind the times. You have, similar to your McFarlane Toys joint at the wrist and some others, you are going to be able to swivel, and you have a ball joint, so you'll be able to get both a horizontal type bend and a vertical type bend, depending on how you have that ball joint turned there. So you can see the vertical, and then of course the horizontal as well. Okay, and so again, it'll go only up about that much. This is far up. I mean, not even 90 degrees. Maybe 90 degrees on this side. And you can get better than 90. You can get that Y pose instead of just a T pose there with the ball joint on her shoulders. But man, I wish they had given her bicep swivel, and I wish they had given her a butterfly joint. That would have made things wonderful, and it would have been well hid by this right here. They should have given this action figure a butterfly joint. Really should have. Nothing in the diaphragm right here, but in the waist you do have a big ball joint, so you are going to be able to bend forward some and bend back some, and it might peg out, come out of the peg there, the ball peg, and that's fine. But she can crunch forward about that much, and she can bend back. Just move that little piece here, as this little piece here will get out of the way. She can bend back about that much, so not an incredible amount there, but of course she will turn side to side, and you can adjust that piece right there. as you need to. She has some really ratcheted legs. Really ratcheted legs. They ratchet in and out. But you do get a pretty good amount. Not full splits, but you get a good amount there with the legs. But with the legs here, I will show you this. You do get double jointed knees. See, that looks good, and you got this little knee armor pad over here that will protect the knee and also hide it. But you get a pretty good amount of distance there, better than 90 degrees. It's just very tight on this thigh. She's going to be able to kick forward about that much and kick back about that much, so you'll definitely be able to get some strides going on there. You do have a knee rotation here at that double jointed knee. It also rotates, not very much up here, but you do get some little bit right here. You have some toning there in the thigh, but not a lot. Wish they had given her a little bit more of a muscle tone in that thigh as well. All right, going on to the feet. That's the part that's disappointing. They're very loose, and just, you know, they'll swivel back and forth. There again, you have that ball joint, so if you want to get any rockers, you're going to have to bend that ball joint a certain way to really get rockers like that. But you really don't even get great range just because of the way the boot comes down on the side. Get a little bit more on that side, but again, then if you have the ball turned that way, then you can't go up. But over here, you can go up that far because I have the ball turned that way, and then you can not even get tiptoes. I mean, that's very little downward motion here on that foot. Don't even get a toe hinge here on an action figure this size, which is just kind of surprising. So I'm not really that impressed with the articulation on this figure, but she does look gorgeous, and she's very nice to pose around and to play with as far as photos. So that is really cool. And again, this cape is really amazing how far out it will reach. I'll show you that with the bendy wire. It will go way out there, as you can see. So you got a lot of options there, and so you can just make that, you know, shine. You can really do a lot with that cape. That's awesome. But again, you do have to watch for it to try to come loose over there on those little latches, little buckles or whatever. But overall, I love this action figure. I wish she had a little bit more tone to those arms at the top and a bicep swivel. I wish she had double jointed elbows. Wish she had a little bit more of a tightness in those feet joints, and definitely wish they had hid these gaps on the side of her head and on the top of her forehead. But other than that, I mean, I'm really pleased. I mean, you know, it's just, those are possibly nitpicky things to some. I love, it's a very beautiful head sculpt. Would have liked it if maybe they had gone with the face plate, since they already had all this broken up so much already, and given us an angry face or an open mouth, you know, head, that kind of thing. But, you know, especially at the price point that these are at. But Mondo, they're doing a great job with the Motu line, and I think this She-Ra is awesome, and she's going to look perfect alongside of her twin brother, He-Man, when he comes, hopefully in February. And then shortly thereafter, we will be getting Battle Cat. So stay tuned in the near future, a couple of months or so, and we're looking forward to that. But anyway, let's go ahead and look at Kowl, and then we'll wrap this up with some photos. And here is She-Ra with Kowl, and he is a cool looking accessory and pack in with this She-Ra. Now, he does not have much of articulation. He just has those arms that will go up and down, and then not even all the way with that. Nothing else. The head does not turn, the legs do not move, but nor do the wings. He's a solid, hefty, thick toy action figure that's packed in with She-Ra here. But they look great together, looking really cool here, the She-Ra and Kowl. And wow, there you have it. Please like if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you have enjoyed this video and like to come back for some more Mondo reviews shortly. And we certainly would love for you to come back and be notified when we do some more reviews. We do Masterverse and even other other action figures. So come on back, and also comment if you've enjoyed this or have a question or would like to comment. We'd love to hear from you. And also, we will do in our photo gallery some comparisons with just your regular Masterverse She-Ra. But come on back and see us, and we'll see you next time on another Super Dave review.